Hello, Star Lovelies. It's a great time to be a soul. Today we're talking about
Happy full moon. Here we are on January 13th. The full moon reaches exact at 5:27 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's at 23 degrees. And the sun is in Capricorn and the moon is in Cancer. We have this beautiful support with Uranus right now. And so that feels really, really good. And I say that, and there's a little bit of hesitancy in my voice because Uranus doesn't ever really feel good, and an opposition with the sun and the moon doesn't ever feel really good. And we've got Saturn kind of wrangling with Venus, saying, gee, we're out here all alone. And so there is a challenge with Mars and the moon really asking us to be bold about how we embrace our powers. And so it's a complicated support. So, I'm laughing a little bit because it's always a complicated support, right? So this isn't really any different. Unfortunately, it's coming on the heels of a very confusing week. So we're probably a little bit exhausted as we start the next week of this month, this first month of this year that is, very fiery and very challenging. And so that just feels annoying, right? Because we wanted to start the year all refreshed from our holidays and really, buckling in and being able to be like, here we go, here we are. We're going to really, walk quickly and we're going to get things done. And last week was a little bit of a CF. Yes, but here we go. This full moon marks the difference between the beginning of the month and how we're going to end the month. And so, yay. So this can be the changing of the tide on this, because as we go further into this month, it gets more and more supportive. So yay. And here we have this Uranus who's asking us how we are prioritizing ourselves. How are we making sure that we are living our whole being and not just operating on a to-do list? And then we have the sun allowing us to appreciate how we're showing up in the world. And yet we've got this beautiful moon that's saying, yes, but we want to be tucked in at home. We want to be making sure that our inner life is really full. We want to be, with friends and family. We don't really want to be out here in the world, right? So that's the complicating factor about it. And yet when we look, the more in wholeness we are in our inner life, the more satisfied we are in our outer world. So we want to be thinking about that so within as without. As we say, as above, so below. But I'm just looking at it through a little bit of a different lens because we've been working with this energy. We particularly had an 18-month set of this before 2020. And so I was talking to people ad nauseum about work-life balance, about how you're filling yourself, how you're pouring yourself into you, how you're really making sure that you have terra firma, just when you are alone, when, what does your soul look like at midnight? Anybody who's been following me for this long have been like, oh yeah, I remember all this. I switched my wording with the stars, and lately I've been talking about filling yourself at the core so that you can go out to the edges. It's the same thing. It's just a different wording. And so with this, we're going back and we're reaching back and think about this, 6 or 7 years ago. How were you filling yourself? Were you fulfilled? And look at the difference between where you are now and where you were then, and really appreciate all the strides that you've made and all the things that you've changed to set yourself up. And also, was there anything from that time that you felt like, you know what? I was doing that a little bit better. Then we're going to pull it through because we get that opportunity. This is a lunar energy, an opposition that's very personal when the sun's involved and the moon's involved. So of course we're going to do that. I'm also looking at things that you were setting up for yourself when we looked at that 20-year grand vision at that December solstice in 2020. So we were opening up you to take the good and really pour it forward into the future, and also to recognize how far you've come, because that's really important. That's what Capricorn is particularly good about, but we often forget. We always think of Capricorn as striving forward and looking to the future, but actually there's this beautiful reminiscence of the past and really appreciating your accomplishments with Capricorn. And that's what we're bringing forth now. And then when we look at that Cancerian nature of the moon, and, how are you boldly and daringly nourishing yourself on the daily? Beautiful when you think about that, because right now Uranus is still in Taurus, and Taurus wants us to have that daily life setup, those creature comforts, those how do you show up for yourself on a Monday and a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday, taking full advantage of that. There's this beautiful Neptunian energy right now that is dissipating our energy, that has been really aggravating for our minds, but not aggravating in general, because this is a beautiful way to open up to your soul. And then, of course, we talked about that Venus feeling alone, but she's getting us ready for when she goes in retrograde in Aries at the top of March. So let's take full advantage of getting ready. And let's go in and open up ourselves to, if we're feeling aggravated, frustrated, let's use that to fuel us to open up to our daringness and our boldness and to step into our power. If we're feeling like nagging in our minds, let's open ourselves up to our bodies and say, you know what, we're going to work out, or we're going to do something super fun with somebody, or we're going to take some time and just kind of shake the aggravation away, or dance it away, or sing it away. That's beautiful remedy for this time right now, because we want to stretch in a supportive way. We don't want to stretch beyond our capabilities or beyond our energy. We want to stretch when we're full. So this is about filling ourselves up. And so I pulled an oracle card, and I love this oracle card because it's about envisioning. And it's a number 13, which is a structure. That's a 4. That's all about structure. When we see our future clearly, we can see it, we can be it, we can do it. And when we see our future, we often let go of our past, and we don't want to do that because we've done such amazing things. And typically at the top of the year, we might take some time and reflect, hey, what was groovy good about last year, and what is it that I'm looking to do next year? How is that groovy goodness going to set ourselves up? And I've particularly said it that way because we don't often do that. What do we often do? We often say, oh, damn, I didn't do X, Y, or Z, so I'm going to make sure I do that, next year. No, this is about appreciation. This is about holy crap, I have done so much. So ironically, not ironically, I'm just finishing up, when I'm recording this right now, I'm just finishing up a 2-week, holiday time, but I really set some time for creation. And I'll be honest with you, I succumbed to this stuff too. My mind was like, oh my goodness, you wanted to get so much more done in your book. You wanted to do this, you wanted to do that. And I was like, nope. And I literally, right before I recorded this, I sat down and I wrote down all the things I actually did in the last 2.5 weeks. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, holy crap. I mean, tons of enjoyment, beautiful reflection, gorgeous fun, and, frivolity through the holidays. I did give myself some time and space. So yes, on that. But then I did use some time for creation, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, holy crap. But my mind only wants to say, oh, but you didn't do these 3 things, or 5 or 10 or whatever the number is. But when I'm looking at this list right now and I'm looking at the 25 things that I did, holy sweet Jesus, right? This is that. Capricorn loves to think about what's next, but Capricorn also significantly appreciates what he or she accomplished. And Cancer is right here to say, yes, I've got you. Let us take this time to explore all the richness of you. Because the stone that's coming in has been one that's been flirting. I think it was in November where this was a stone. I'm kind of forgetting the timing of this, but it was definitely Q4 of 2024. Covelite, so it's Covelite. I met this particular stone a few years ago, but I was beautifully with a dear friend going, and we were in Denver, we were shopping for crystals, and I found these 2 luscious ones. They're just so I've revisited this energy. Here's that revisiting, right? And gained fuller appreciation of the lusciousness of Covelite, because Covelite literally will encapsulate you in all of your brilliance. Yes, that feels amazing. So, thinking about envisioning your future when you are wearing your full brilliance, that's what this full moon is about. I've talked about it being about change. I've talked about it, particularly in the monthly planner. I talked about it like being complicated. Yes, that's true, but not when we appreciate ourselves. So, the key to this is to appreciate ourselves. So, yay. So, let's appreciate how we want to set ourselves up for the future. And so if you haven't taken that 12-question quiz, go to your star map to success.com and go ahead and do that because I'm going to be talking about your grand vision. I'm going to be talking about you opening up to yourself in luscious ways. And for you wise strategists, you have such a beautiful energy for paradigm shifting. And what does that entail? It entails you to wear all of your energy. Because when you think about a paradigm shift, you think about it like you're taking the goodness from the past and you're looking at what needs and wants to be changed in the future, but you're not forgetting the past and you're doing this beautiful corkscrew of energy. You're the one signature that is grounded enough to do this. So when you're thinking about that, think like, okay, yes, I'm going to be super strong in my earthly energy. Check. I'm going to be wildly physical about that and get things done. Check. But ooh, wait a minute. I'm going to open up to that future of what can be without forgetting from the past. Thank you very much for this because it is luscious that you're doing this. And so using magic, using things like oracle cards and doing things like this are so helpful to you. Intuitive visionary, this is your time. You have been that visionary leader and that one that has been like literally opening up the energies. And yet you don't want to just be lost in the future. You too want to be able to understand and appreciate your power. So playing and like lusciously stirring in this energy and allowing it to land and you being in that vortex of landing instead of outside of it is really super helpful. So think about channeling your energy in ways that can be seen and heard in the world. Collaborative Explorer, this is your time. These next few years, it started a few years ago, but now it's continuing for the next few years. Right now, intensely, this is your time. Ask yourself when you are connecting with people what's in it for you, because you can show them how to get these things done. Like you are literally the advocate for this new energy and you don't want to lose yourself in it. So focusing inwardly and looking at your own resource and then focusing outwardly is perfect for you. Ruling warrior, this time feels really frustrating for you because we're going in these amorphous, like feminine energies that they're not like brass tacks and manifesting in the ways that you're used to. You don't see the evidence as quickly as you would, in a linear approach. So yes, that's aggravating, but the richness in that circular approach will super, super help you. So you can really embrace the disruptive energy this year because you help just by being you help with that disruption. And when you are standing as a role model for that, that is super helpful to you and super helpful for everybody. Now, creative superstar, you have that beautiful influencing energy. So that's really gorgeous because you understand and appreciate the circular spiral of life and how that cyclic of going outward is really beneficial, but then going inward is also. And you want to ready yourself for next year and that awakening time. So take this year, yes, it's going to move fast and what have you, but really understand like your accomplishments, reminding yourself weekly of the 5 things that you're proud of is super helpful to you. And then loving alchemists, you are power personified. And so your voice is meant to be heard. You are the beginning. So you're the alpha and you're the omega of this energy. And so for you to be understanding and appreciating that you can bring that beautiful power up inside of you and you can stand unwaveringly because you are the star seed of this energy, but then you're also the anchor of it. So be saying yes to yourself, saying yes to you having your own stage. I've been talking about this for a year now and you showing up and you're meant to be heard. So your power is so incredibly aligned with this time that you being you is enough. And so remind yourself of that, because this will help you show up in ways that are more unwaveringly. So we have our beautiful energies just sitting right here for us. We've got the sun and the moon shining in the sky, giving ourselves this big openness. We have Coverlight coming in underneath us to support us. And we have this beautiful envisioning that involves us embodying our future. And so with that, let's close our eyes. Let's take a deep breath. And I'm going to start at our solar plexus. And I'm going to ask you to focus on your diaphragm, right in the middle of you. This is the core of you. And yes, we can radiate outward, but this is for you first. So I'd love for you to bring that energy inside of you. Sip from the sun, drink from the moon, allow Coverlight to come up from the ground and literally form a chair for you to sit in. And you can put your arms out like you have armrests right next to you. You can lean back and you are sitting in Coverlight. Your future is sitting right underneath you. And the earth is saying yes to this. And you can drink this up through the soles of your feet, through your ankles, your shins, and your calves, through your knees and your thighs and your hamstrings, into your hips and your belly, feeling it fuel your spine for you to sit up and understand and appreciate how wonderful and magnificent and brilliant you are. All these things that you have done, the foundation that you have created, the skills that you've attained, the person that you are, the love that you have, the mind that you've sharpened, the heart that you've empowered, the body that you've nourished. Yes to the yes to the yes. Allow yourself to then have that power go up into your heart space, into your lungs, up to your neck, down your shoulders, down your biceps, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, into your hands, really beautifully amplifying those manifestation chakras. And it reminds you to open up the soles of your feet to drink in even more power. As we then go back up our arms, up our shoulders, up into our beautiful, beautiful throat that houses our voice, into our jawline and our cheeks, bones, and our skull and our foreheads, allowing ourselves to drink this Coverlight as we sip from the sun and sit in the moon, allowing that beautiful, gorgeous, like fountain of energy to come pouring out of our top of our head and our crown chakra, drinking up into that soul star, into that beautiful celestial gateway, and then having all the universal energies pour like a fountain down upon us. This beautiful, brilliant, incandescent, sparkling white light, filled with every color in the rainbow. We see the flecks of golden light and those silver strands come pouring down all around us. As we then drink from it through our chakra system and around our auric layer. It's almost like this beautiful umbrella going over that Coverlight chair that we're sitting in, showering us with love and with light and with care and with nourishment and with brilliance and luminosity, with sparkles and glimmers and shimmers and fun, with flickers of light and big cups of love. As we allow it to come in through our crown chakra, our third eye, our throat, our heart, our solar plexus, our sacral, all the way down through our root chakra and pouring into the earth, forming that beautiful, gorgeous, upward drinking fountain that we're sitting in. So this Coverlight chair has become part of a fountain. And we are sitting in this glorious luminosity. Yes to the yes, to the yes, to the yes. This is who we are, filling ourselves up, satisfaction, fulfillment, appreciation, adoration, acknowledgement, acceptance, allowance. Drinking ourselves in happiness, bliss, joy, contentedness, ease, freedom. These are all heart-based words. These are soul essence. Talk about luminosity. As we envision our future from this space, what can we imagine in this new era? That paradigm shifting, that advocacy, that star-seeded anchored power, that beautiful visionary energy, that gorgeous creative awakening influence, that disruption. Yes to the yes to the yes. We are we, so we are. Yes to the yes to the yes on this beautiful full moon at the top of the year, filled with covet light, drinking from the sun, sipping from the moon, drinking from the moon and sipping from the sun, allowing the earth to support us and the heavens to shower upon us. Yes, as within, so without, as above, so below. This is my intention, my creation, my word. So it is done. And with that, let us feel our feet on the floor and our hips and our seat as we give great appreciation to the covet throne and that beautiful heaven-centered fountain. The stars are always singing with us as we allow our souls to be part of our daily lives and our heart's beautiful support, nurture, wisdom, connection, and our body's beautiful well-being. Yes to the yes to the yes. Give great appreciation to the sun and the moon and all the stars, to cover light, to envisioning, to numbers, to the sacred geometry and the elegant dance of the stars awaiting our instruction. Yes to the yes to the yes. As we feel our feet and our ankles and our wrists and our palms and our fingers and our toes, we roll our shoulders and roll our neck and shake our hands, imprinting this energy into us as we open our eyes. And we say yes to starting this week, and yes to starting this month, and yes to starting this year. Happy, happy, happy full moon. Let's rub our hands together as we come fully into this space. Take a drink of water. Take a few moments to reflect on this and really imprint this energy, because what a beautiful way to start the day. As always, thank you so much for listening. It's a wonderful time to be a soul, and happy soul tidings. Until next time.
Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more ways to use the stars strategically to align with your soul purpose, reclaim your power, and increase your prosperity. Please rate and review your favorite episodes, and remember to check out my website at kimwoods.com for my latest forecasts, articles, and offerings. To find out your intuitive success signature, take my 12-question Do You Know, Like, and Trust Yourself quiz and find out how you're living your stars at yourstarmaptosuccess.com. I've so enjoyed our time together, as it's filled with the power of the stars plus strategy to clear the pathway to your success. Until next time, happy soul tidings.